Maggie Hassan, let's face it, she hasn't said anything yet. She's going to run against Kelly Ayotte for that senator seat. It is going to open up the gubernatorial race, and the gubernatorial race is now underway as one person named Mike Gill has now joined that race. Mike Gill, good morning.
A little bit.
Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you and why are you deciding to run for governor?
Well, I've been a businessman in the state, most recently for the last 25 years, owning a company called Mortgage Specialists. And why I'm running is because for the last 10 years, I've been associated with work. Shaheens have worked for me, Walker from down behind Willamette, people from McLean worked for me. I am telling you, what I have found was a Ponzi scheme controlled by the officials of the state, covered up by the officials of the state. So why I'm running? I'm running for everybody who is tired and knows that it's corrupt and won't take a stand. I'm running for them. That's why I'm running early. I couldn't wait because of the corruption that is going on. So now what my position is, as an independent position, I want people to understand this isn't about Republicans and Democrats. This is about corruption that is done on both sides of the fence, and it's clouded by the issues, where the real issue is the corruption that's done. You want to know why health care is so high? We've got these attorneys working with these insurers. Why do you think U.S. Attorney Kakavas bounces into the Dartmouth Hospital? Why do you think Alex Walker, the president to buy Millimac, goes to the Manchester Memorial Hospital? It is run by insurers and these law firms. Why do you think for the last 29 years it's pretty much one law firm that runs the AG's office? Where do you think Ayotte came from? McLean. Where did you think Delaney came from? Brown came from? All McLean. And when you turn around and have a banking commissioner who's an insurance defender from McLean, who's only there because they were afraid to get caught and get in a, to imagine the nightmare the insurers would have across the state with foreclosures that were wrongfully done. I'm not a politician. What I am is a businessman and a father and a citizen of this state that have walked in to see this corruption, to know the players. You see on the internet, I turned down a $50 million settlement from Liberty International. What do you think they were paying me for $50 million? My silence. So I choose to defend the people of the state. Even though my life has been threatened multiple times, all you have to do is go on the internet. There's text messages that are threatening to kill my family, who in the same text message tell us about the corruption that's going on in the state, that they're so afraid of the public officials that they're threatening to kill me if I go further.
Mike,
Go ahead.
Just real quick. So Mike Gill is going to be running for governor here in the state of New Hampshire. Just a quick question. Are you going to be seeking a party nomination? You're going to run as an independent?
Independent. Independent of all special interests. Independent of owing people. I owe only the citizens of this state. I will take no donations. I will use my funds only. I will be holding to no one but the interests of the people of this state. And I'm not a theorist of corruption. I'm shown straight evidence. Shaheen was part of the Ponzi scheme FRM. So was your banking commissioner, Hildreth. Why do you think U.S. Attorney Kakavas resigned?
Let me cut you. I don't mean to cut you off, and I want to make sure that people are clear on what you're saying. When you talk about a Ponzi scheme at FRM, that doesn't mean anything to me. So what is FRM and why is it important?
FRM was a financial institution in the state of New Hampshire that was really a Ponzi scheme, the largest in the history of the whole state. This whole state should take notice. there's been multiple suicides from the victim of this Ponzi scheme, which was pretty much the people of New Hampshire, multiple citizens, mostly the elderly. What happened is that Hildreth, the banking commissioner, two brothers were part of the owners of the Ponzi scheme. Shaheen himself put Hildreth in place. They were all involved in this Ponzi scheme. When the recession hit in 2007 and 8, like most good Ponzi schemes, it got uncovered. What got uncovered, it was the politicians. AOT came in and protected Shaheen. You see, that's how they're working together. And the AG's office. Listen, how about this? The prosecution of this financial institution was done by U.S. Attorney Kakavas. Mm-hmm. The defendant the lawyer for FRM was Mark Howard. Do you know Mark Howard was his business partner just a few months before? And they were partners for years? Now you tell me how that can happen, unless they were both involved in the cover-up.
Pretty interesting. Mike Gill does have a website called stateofcorruption.org. A lot of people will know in the southern part of the state, especially when you go to the mall in New Hampshire. I think it's most notable to people in this audience. When you come up the overpass from the north, you'll see the big lighted sign, State of Corruption. Corruption, obviously, a big issue. When you say this was a Ponzi scheme and various Ponzi schemes at the state level, it sounds to me, from what you're explaining, sounds more, dare I say, a nepotism type of scheme, even though these people aren't related, but there's something incestuous about it, as opposed to a Ponzi scheme. Are you saying that the state is taking money and redirecting it back on the back end somewhere, or vice versa?
No, it's the officials of the state of New Hampshire are keeping the money.
Oh, interesting.
And I can prove that, yes. They own the scheme. They did. And these guys from FRM, why do you think Mark Howard had to defend them? Because they gave them the deal of the century to shut up. How's that?
Interesting.
I mean, there's no getting by this. Everybody, listen, I have your notes from the Assistant Attorney General, Richard Head, who had an interview with a woman, an attorney named Susie, who was the attorney for the banking department. She said in that interview that Attorney Ashley knew in 2003 of that Ponzi scheme. She approached Hildreth and informed him that your brothers are on that. She approached Hildreth again and said, your best friend is Dick Gallagher, is their attorney. So it means the Banking Commission knew 5 years before they closed it down, before all these people lost all their money.
I was going to say, some people are listening to Mike. Now, Mortgage Special is a large company. It's one of the largest, if not one of. Are you the largest mortgage specialist company in the country?
We were at one time the largest brokerage in the United States, according to Fannie Mae.
Because some people would listen to what you're saying and say you were left on the outside looking in, and this would be an anger campaign. Is that the case, or are you really? I mean, it sounds to me like you're pretty passionate about this, and you're saying, look, we need to clean this up before we move forward.
How about this? I was only the world champion in the King of Sports. I won more races than any man who's ever lived. I don't join clubs. You see? I mean, these guys are the ones kissing my behind. The Shaheens, the Walkers, right? So I didn't. I decided to join the People's Club instead. Sarro grapes, I've made more money than these guys combined in their lifetime. Mm-hmm. Now I'm prepared to lose it all, every single penny. And that's why I'm funding all my money. That's why I'm putting it on my signs. And we're in Somersworth, we're in Nashua, we're in Plastow too. I put signs in Boston. I put signs on the highway. I'm prepared to invest every single penny I've ever made in my life into uncovering this truth.
And I will give you a little bit of credence. Anybody who was deeply entrenched in the horse racing industry probably can spot corruption pretty quick.
Well, considering I spotted the largest RICO charge in the history of horse racing that's going down on Penn National right now.
Yeah.
You're going to have about 50 arrests within the next 2 weeks that are also going to include government officials in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, I'm the one who uncovered this in 2010 in a narrative on the internet, 2012. I steered this investigation to drop right on top of the heads of the corrupt in New Hampshire. Because at this point, I do have the Justice Department's case number. Because they can't deny what I said in horse racing, which is why I steered these two ships in together. Because there's going to have to be a reckoning in this state, and I'm telling you it is going to happen. And it is worse than horse racing.
Well, I came up in standardbred racing and certainly saw, and that was in the 70s and 80s, so I can certainly, I can understand the corruption issues, and boy, wait till, if they hit the thoroughbred industry, wait till it hits standardbreds, because it's really going to blow open, but...
that's all. See, you know what it is? It's not the horses itself or the trainers, now it's the racetrack.
It's
Penn National, quite literally, bought up all these little racetracks. And what they did was they bribed their way into getting slot machines. And then they bribed and owned these politicians. I'm telling you, behind the scenes, Rockingham's a done deal. And trust me, Shaheen's going to get paid for it. You watch.
I'll tell you what, I'm just about out of time, but I can talk a lot on that angle about the slot machines, the casinos, and how they affect and the type of backroom dealings that go on between the horse racing industry and casinos. And, you know, that's the big push here in the state of New Hampshire is, well, we're going to save Rockingham. That's going to come next. We're going to save the horse racing culture in New England. That's going to how they'll push that. Mike, I'm just about out of time. I got 10 seconds here. Stateofcorruption.org. I will share State of Corruption NH's Facebook page over on my Facebook page, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Ben.
Thanks for joining me on WNTK and WUVR. WNTK News Time is 8:28.